This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Thursday, July 2nd, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so we got a few good movers, a few cheap, real good movers that came into the pre-market. Let's talk about Fran first. So Fran has a ton of buying that came into it during this consolidation, pretty much the entire time. So it really does have the buying to be able to get higher than what we got. I mean, we did come up to, to pretty much our high right here of 773. It did not hit 775, and then we ended up kind of triggering down. But the one thing I'm a little bit shocked about is just the second time up. We didn't see anything come in at 750. You can see, I mean, a little bit. You had the buying that was underneath, but overall, I was not happy whatsoever. This was pretty much, the closest that we had to any type of real new buying that came in at that level. And then you obviously have a little bit there at 730. But overall, I'm not happy at all with the buying up here. So really, in this situation, what I'm going to be looking for is for them to pull it back first of all, but then start building a position that shows us it needs to go past it. Because unfortunately, we don't have the trigger to really, the prints for a trigger to really be able to pop back up and give us that high percentage trade. But keep in mind, there is enough buying for us to be able to go higher. It's just that based off of not printing anything at 750, they have to think it's going lower or want to bring it down lower first to be able to build that position if we're going to have any chance at going back up. So that's 100% what we need to be looking for, because once again, it just does not have that buying up there around those highs. 750 to 775 really didn't get any type of prints. Next thing, NIO. So another one where, really nice pre-market trading. Unfortunately, once it hit 8, when you can actually trade, it really didn't do too much. It's kind of been sitting in that consolidation. But one thing just to notice is during this consolidation, we're still getting a lot of big buying bursts. If you come over here, you can see that 918, the 920, just a huge amount of giant ask bursts that are showing us that they definitely are building within this consolidation. My only big problem is the fact that there's no buying really at those highs. And the second thing is that 10 is right above. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, we can't have a price target higher than 10 because 10 is going to give us a huge amount of information that's going to tell us whether we're going to be looking to continue, whether we're going to be looking to come back down and build. But overall, in this consolidation, a trigger to the upside is definitely, it definitely is a high percentage just because of the amount of ask prints that we're seeing getting built. But once again, I really do like to see things give us those prints at the highs, just because we know that there's higher money that needs to be made, and it's just not the money that's being released from the basically in this scenario, the lowercase consolidation. So overall, definitely has potential. It's just not a perfect setup. Pretty much just like Fran. I love having the buying at highs because it tells us that we know that somebody needs to come back there. When they build at the lower points, a lot of times you get those kind of false breakouts, and then they come right back down and start building again. So just make sure, really, when this thing goes, if it's going to make a big move if it's going to make a move to the upside, it's going to be a big move. So getting that confirmation of, really, once again, that building and kind of breaking out from those highs is going to be important to kind of add that extra percentage into your trade. Next thing is SHLL. So I still like this stock, and the reason being is that we have that building that happened up at the 31 area, and we can see it's starting to move a little bit, but we can see there's basically nothing but bigger buying that's happened coming into this morning. It's not the greatest, pre-market movement at all, but you have 528,000 shares already being traded, and like I said, those bigger prints have pretty much all been buying. So I'm still going to be looking at this tour, to really be able to go towards that 31. Just remember, once the market opens and we get closer to the open, we definitely want to see a better show of hand. We're not just going to go over this, and then also it's at 28, 31's $3 away on average. It has been moving, pretty much in that area, about $3 to $4. Unfortunately, we don't have an average, and you can't really even take it just because of the amount of volume that we've been seeing coming into it. But these huge days where they were building, you can see that big volume, and then it went down to pretty much nothing. So if we start to see some big volume come into this, we can really get a beautiful move towards that upside and break over that 31 area. Now, next thing is JOB. It's going to be on our side list. But I do like it. The only thing is, again, it just doesn't really have any type of buying near the highs. But once again, we need to look in the consolidation and kind of get an idea of what they're doing, what the money flow is going to be there. And if you look, there's some really nice bigger ask prints that have been coming in. We know there's going to be selling. It went from 51 cents up to, to $2. That's a huge, huge move. You can see it's even now, even pulling back a little bit, it's still up 223%. So unfortunately, not having the buying at the highs kind of lowers our percentages just a little bit, but as long as we keep building during that consolidation, no reason we can't see this thing get up towards our double top and then really be able to kind of break out depending on what our reaction comes in based off of the prints that we get as we get closer to that point. But we'll just keep in mind, again, it started so early that this move towards that upside doesn't have much substance. It's just because there's not much trading that's going on during it. So really important, especially on most of our stocks this morning, it's very important to understand what they're doing during these consolidations in the pre-market, because that's going to give us our idea of whether or not we're just kind of end up not looking at them anymore, or if they're really going to be able to get those triggers towards the upside and really be able to get any type of movement going. So then obviously INO and WKHS, I'm not going to put them on our list again because once again, they're starting to get, basically stories. The cliff notes are kind of dying out a little bit. But if you look at INO, we definitely got some selling coming down into this 20 level. Remember what I said yesterday, that 20 is just that level that it's such a pain. If you think it releases from it, it ends up coming right back. And they sit around that 20 for a long time. So getting this little bit of selling, I would have liked to see a little bit more, but the selling coming into it up top is definitely looking good. And then WKHS, another one where we're going to be able to get some nice trades coming out of it. But if we look over here, some decent prints coming in at 21.25, 21.40, it's okay. But really the 21 is what I was looking at because, it just beautiful prints that came in right after we started our meeting. Definitely needs to pull back underneath those, but based off of having these 21 S prints as well as the decent burst that we got in above that 21 after a pullback moving back towards that upside, we should definitely be able to see at least about 50 cents from that trade. And obviously the range has been huge yesterday, $6.74, so we're probably going to be expecting more than 50 cents. But I'm going to start a little bit slow with it today because you can see volume has just been huge, so I wouldn't be shocked to see the volume start to slow down and get a little bit more of a down volume day, which kind of takes away from the range that we have been seeing within it. And other than that, that's pretty much it. So, like I said, knowing that it is Friday, well, technically it's about the last day of the trading week. It's Thursday, but it's technically our trading Friday. Just understand we want to focus, put a main focus on our first trade because we do not want to have to make up anything going into the afternoon. Once again, the afternoon might be fantastic, just like it has been the past few Fridays, but at the same time, we're going into a holiday week. So most of the time you end up seeing things kind of slow a little bit early. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else out there? Genus, let's take a look. Okay, yes, definitely. Well, so definitely it started after we started our meeting. Let's see what we got. 250 definitely has, beautiful buying underneath 250, nice prints at 250. So we're kind of pulling back from those. A trigger towards that upside, absolutely. The only thing is it doesn't look, just basically even off of that move, the way that it jumped up like that and then kind of got a little bit quantity, doesn't look like it's going to have a huge range coming into it, but certainly makes the list, definitely. It's got some nice prints. It's just my one concern is just the range. But other than that, if we start to see some real big volume continue to come back in, you can see we're a little bit of a dip right now. So perfect setup for pulling underneath 250 and then getting that big volume bar to bring us back up and break past those highs. As usual, Mariola, great call. I don't even pay attention to question marks from her. All right, guys, let's get ready for our morning. Remember, it is our Friday, so there will be no afternoon meeting, but I will be here all day. I will talk to everybody in the chat, and happy trading.